Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel. We talk about them in a positive way. And if that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. And today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Skeleton Crew Episode 5. And this will be our complete spoiler review and breakdown and where we think it will go from here. So let's jump right into it. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This has been consistently good, and this episode, more than any of the others, was more of a throwback to the old Goonies movies and some of those adventure movies like that. So, if you were a fan of those adventure movies, then you might really want to be checking out the series if you haven't already. And I assume you have started watching it if you're watching this video. So, this is going to be the complete breakdown of the episode with spoilers, and then we'll tell you what we think might happen from here on. So, if you haven't watched the episode yet, and you don't want any spoilers, then I urge you to click off the video, go watch the episode, and then come back and join us. Now, if you're still here, let's continue. So, the name of episode 5 is You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates. And we open up on Aden, where the parents are really trying to get in touch with their kids. They're breaking every rule they can. They're trying to send a message past the barrier to get to their kids, and they know they're going to have to break the rules to do so, but they're perfectly fine doing this. So we kind of get a look at the desperateness of the parents to find their kids at this point. They know they're going to have to go behind the supervisor's back. Now, meanwhile, where we left our children at this point, they managed to restrain SM-33, Smee, and re-alter his programming. So he's back to normal. He knows who he's loyal to, and they get the coordinates to Aden. So they know exactly where they're going. He reveals the hidden coordinates to Aden. However, that's not where he takes them. When they get back on the ship, that's not where they go. Instead, they go to a luxury planet called Lanupa. And Lanupa is kind of this luxury planet in the way that Star Trek had that luxury planet, so there's a bit more going on. This is a very adult planet. In fact, they say no kids are allowed, but that doesn't stop them. Jod disguises them as elders. They venture onto the planet. Well, we don't see anything inappropriate, first off, which is a good thing because Star Wars really shouldn't have that stuff. Now, Jod disguises them, they go to the planet. Only what they don't count on is Jod's partner, Pocket, this freelancer, is on the planet, and now it's his location. But with the help of the patron of the planet, this big kind of creature, the crew make their way into Lanupa's hidden caves, maneuvering through booby traps and everything, which makes this the most Goonies episode ever. They even have a musical little bit of tune playing at one point, and they even have acid on the ground. And it's meant to basically keep people from getting through. And they go through this cave and they find this big treasure. And they learn that the treasure is a mint that creates infinite credits. Now, when Fern sort of reminds Jod of their fair reward he was promised, he kind of seems to get greedy. He suddenly doesn't like the idea of it just being about fairness, and he proceeds to mutiny against the crew. He tells the kids not to fight against it and essentially takes over. Now, with SM-33 being loyal to him instead of the kids, he now has the orders. And he's going to leave the kids there, it seems. But during this fight, as they are talking, and he has a cutlass to Fern's neck, telling her to yield, which she ultimately does, the children do escape, and Jod picks up a lightsaber that was among the relics in the trove. Now, this is sort of the first time that we see a lightsaber in here. And it seems like Jod has completely betrayed them at this point. Now, this is kind of where we end the episode. He's more or less going to leave them there. But there are actually people that die in this episode. And that's a little bit dark. You don't get to see the deaths, but you definitely know they happen. Because the pirates come onto this planet while they're doing all this, and they are also trying to solve the puzzles and get to the center of this cave that the others have made it to. And since they solved the puzzle, there's no more acid. Well, as soon as they get in and they hear the pirates coming, Jod tells SM-33 to refill it, and you hear their screams. So this is probably the darkest of the episodes we've gotten so far, but it was also very much, like I said earlier, this throwback to the Goonies, and that made it worthwhile. Now, where do I think that this series will go from here? Well, I still am not 1,000% sure that Jod is a bad guy. I started off kind of wondering if he was, that he was going to betray them, but then as time progressed in the series, now the more and more he seems like he is betraying them, the more and more I'm wondering if he isn't. Because he oftentimes will say things that are very Jedi-like. He will more oftentimes quote things that Jedis would say, and yet he seems like this greedy pirate. So I'm wondering if maybe there is something to it. Maybe he is somehow deep undercover, and he might know more than the kids know at this point. Because right now the kids don't know who this original pirate captain was, but it looks like he may be alive, because we don't actually get to see him at any point thus far. We hear his voice, we hear the message, but that's it. And that's what makes this episode really good, is we have sort of this reason now. In fact, that's the thing. They reveal in this episode that the treasure belonged to famed pirate Tak Renaud. And that means that the ship they are on is the Onyx Cinder. Now, since they learned that in this episode, only one that doesn't seem immensely surprised by this is Jod, which makes me wonder if maybe he's not betraying them. Maybe he notices that they're going to be in more danger than they even have thought they were going to be in the past. And it's because of this that he will ultimately save them, even though they're going to think he's the bad guy for a few minutes. And we're meant to think he's the bad guy too. But I see him as this character that is ultimately going to save them, because he doesn't purposely try to hurt them. And even when he's performing this mutiny, he doesn't try to hurt the kids. So that tells me that maybe he's not as bad as we think. Now, meanwhile, whatever's going on this planet, which we now know has this treasure on it, for sure, we know that the people that are running the planet don't want people to get messages off of. The more and more we're hearing about this planet, the shadier this planet is getting. And the more I think that it's going to turn out to be a situation where they are going to have to escape. So I think within the next couple episodes, we're going to see them return to their planet. We're going to see them uncover what they need to uncover. And ultimately, they're going to be heroes. And that would be a very Goonie-esque ending, too, because if you remember Goonies, the kids find the treasure and they save their entire village. They save their entire little area they live in, and that's where we're at here. They're saving their houses. Otherwise, they're all going to have to move, and these kids don't have to move. They're just kind of prisoners there. They don't go off planet. Nobody seems to go off planet, and it seems like they are keeping these people in the dark with all these old credits, and they don't even know about a lot of what's going on in history at this point. So all they know is about Jedis and how the Jedis are the heroes, and that's why they're so anxious to believe that Jod is the hero. I think ultimately what's going to end up happening is they might end up being right, and Jod could in fact be a Jedi undercover trying to solve a problem that ultimately the kids stumbled into, and he sees this as his redemption. And especially when he hears the name of this pirate, now he's got a reason to stay, because it's just like it probably is not a coincidence that the Force would lead him to these kids at that point. If he is a Jedi, a lot of Force users believe that they are led, that there is destiny and all this. So maybe he is destined to help these kids. So of course he's going to want to help them. He's going to want to solve their problem if he is some Jedi in hiding. But we don't know any of that yet. We don't know if he is betraying them or not. What we do know is we have 3 episodes left. And these 3 episodes, they've got to get back to Adan, and they've got to solve the problem within 3 episodes. So I think these next 3 episodes are going to be very action-packed. But that is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. Do you think that Jod is betraying the kids, or do you think that he is in fact a Jedi in hiding that is helping them? What do you think about this pirate? Do you think this pirate is in fact alive still? And do you think it could be someone we know? Did you like this episode? Did you think it was very Goonie-esque? Or did you hate it? Whatever you guys thought, make sure to let me know. As always, we want to know what you guys think. So don't forget to leave us that comment in the comment box below letting us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. And then make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel. And we really do appreciate it. Then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.